What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Gimme presented by BetMGM. Why the Gimme? You guys know why. Because it's good this week. Well, one of the most venerable tournaments on the PGA Tour schedule at one of the most iconic courses, the Genesis Invitational at Riviera Country Club. Oh, one of the best of the year. And we've got the top 10 in the official world golf ranking all in the field this week. It's going to be a really, really fun one. I'm Jason Sobel. She is Amanda Rose. Coming up on the show, yes, our perfect portfolios, our first round leader contest, and we're going to make that ultimate DFS lineup. Amanda, are you ready for this?
Yes, I am ready for this. And I think our boosted bet tonight is ready for this.
How about this? So, our gimme prop from BetMGM this week, Dustin Johnson, who all he's done at Riviera over the past 8 times he's played is 7 top 10s. Seems like that's a pretty good percentage. Well, we've got his odds for a top 10 this week, including ties, boosted to plus 200. That's right, 2-1 for DJ to be in the top 10 out of 120 players. That's right, only 120 in the field this week. Amanda, are you taking the boosted prop?
Yes, I'm definitely taking it. You're actually getting pretty decent value on DJ this week. I want to say he opened around like 18-1. He moved really quickly closer to the top of that board, but I think you're getting good value on him because there's so many eyes on Cantlay and Rahm right now that no one's really paying attention to DJ, and this is a great place for him. What about you?
Yeah, I like it. I don't love DJ as much as some other players at the top of the odds board this week. I think it's really hard to differentiate. I can see pros and cons for all of these big name players that we've got in the field. One thing that stuck out to me, though, Tiger Woods had a press conference earlier today, and throughout all the talk about his future and looking back at the car accident from last year and different things like that, he mentioned that this course is going to change a lot from Thursday to Sunday. It's supposed to get faster. It's supposed to get firmer. I give a little nod to those who have experience at Riviera in the past, and nobody has more experience on this golf course than Dustin Johnson. So yes, I do like that. It might be a backdoor top 10, but I do think it'll be a top 10 this week. All right, let's talk about the top of that board. And like I said, all 10 of the world's top 10 in the field this week. You can't have more than that. You can't have 11 of the top 10. You can't have 12 of the top 10. All 10 of the top 10. Here are the odds from BetMGM. Jon Rahm, of course, number 1 in the world. He is number 1 on the board this week at 9-1, a decent number on Rahm compared to where we've seen him earlier this year. Patrick Cantlay, 11-1. I think we'll be talking some Patrick Cantlay coming up very, very shortly. Dustin Johnson and Justin Thomas, both 16-1. JT is going to win something at some point by 10 shots. He's going to make 40 birdies at some point. He's ready to explode. I don't know that it's this week. This is the birdie fest of some other events, but JT's ready to win at some point very soon. Colin Morikawa, 18-1. Cameron Smith rounds out that top tier. He is 20-1. Let's get to those perfect portfolios. As always, our bosses have been very generous, Amanda. They've given us $100 to spend this week on an outright and a few props and a first round leader play. Let's start with those outrights. Where are you going with yours this week?
Yeah, so I should preface this by saying that each week you and I make our picks separately, not together. I often am not paying attention to the group chat when you send it. I'll notice what your picks are.
You shouldn't.
After I send it. And this week I'm going to put $30 on Patrick Cantlay for an outright. I was really shocked he didn't win the last week, not because Scotty Scheffler isn't, a world-class player, but Scotty, he missed that putt and it wasn't a good putting stroke that he put on that putt that he missed on 18 in regulation. So I really thought that Patrick Cantlay was going to take control of that, but he didn't. I think this is actually a better fit for him this week. He finished, I think, tied fourth here. I know he finished tied fourth here. His first appearance in 2018. He's played well here in the past. So, he's gaining 13 strokes on the field last week. He's coming into this event in such good form. And this is an event that requires a really good ball striker and someone that hits it pretty long. So 7.5 strokes tee to green last week, 4 off the tee, averaging 9.5 strokes on his last 5 events. So he's just, his game is in the right place. And I think he's going to win this week. I was really shocked he didn't win last week, but I think this is his week.
Amanda, come on. You're crazy. He's just coming off a playoff loss last week. He's a chalky play. He's second on the board. Really? You're taking Patrick Cantlay with your favorite outright?
I know, I know a veteran in this world like you would never do something.
No,
like
come on. I've got a guy here that I really like this week. I'm telling you, this guy's going to win. I'm going to go with Patrick Cantlay. Oh boy,
Weird.
we doubled up. I can't believe we did this. Yes, he is my favorite play on the board. This is for me, Amanda, an Occam's razor play.
Yeah.
Essentially, sometimes the simplest answer is also the correct answer. And I just look at the board and I say, well, there's a whole lot of really good players here. Who's playing the best of all of them? Well, Patrick Cantlay's been top 10 in each of his 4 starts so far this year. And I feel like he hasn't quite played his best golf yet this year. Last week, for the first 3 rounds, the ball striking wasn't quite there, but his putter was hot. For the last round, he struck it really well, and the putter got a little bit cold. If he puts it all together, I think he can win. This is his hometown event, grew up in the SoCal area. We talk about good ball strikers in West Coast events. That fits Patrick Cantlay to a T. There aren't many courses, many events where his game doesn't work, but I think it especially works at the Genesis, at Riviera for this week. And yes, like you said, has a good track record at this one. All signs pointing at him. Again, I hate dipping down to such a short number when some of these players who are bigger names have some big numbers next to them this week. But again, I just don't see anybody who I like for win equity better than Patrick Cantlay this week. So I'm taking as well $30 at 11 to 1. I'm glad you didn't change the number though. I'm glad your 30 didn't move that down to like 10.5 to 1 or something, Amanda. So thank you. I appreciate that. Let's talk about Riviera Country Club, the Riv, one of the best courses on the PGA Tour, one of the best courses anywhere in the United States, an iconic course that's been around forever. It's your essential, got to drive it well, you got to hit it long, but you got to keep it in the fairway. Iron play is essential, of course. You're going to miss some greens because they're so small, so you've got to be able to get up and down from the greenside rough and the bunkers, and then, of course, you've got to be able to make putts. What does that mean? You've got to be really good at golf, and you've got to do it all really well this week in order to contend at this one. As I said earlier, Tiger says it's going to get a little firmer and faster. Expect this one to change a little bit from Thursday conditions to Sunday conditions. So again, maybe give a little nod to experience. Spoke with a few players already this week, and they said it's playing really, really tough. It always plays tough. We may see something in single digits under par win the golf tournament this week. With that said, let's get to our prop plays as part of our perfect portfolio. Amanda, where are you going with yours?
All right. I can emphasize this enough. I didn't see Jason's picks before, and we might share a pick here. So my first one, I'm going to do top 20 for Francesco Molinari. I just think this is the week for him. The reason I'm not going top 10 is because I think you can double down. I think it would be easy to do top 20, top 10, top 5. So kind of top 20 is like in an all-encompassing bet in a way. So he opened the week at a $150 to 1. Those are such incredible odds. This is his home course. Okay. He moved here from Italy from Europe, now playing in Southern California. He's working with Jamie Mulligan. He's playing out of Riviera. He knows his place well. He's a great putter. Obviously he's a good ball striker. Riviera is a course where I look for elite players to do well. And you'll see that in my next pick. And like what we were talking about with Dustin Johnson earlier, I think Francesco Molinari is an elite player. He doesn't have that many wins, but he does have the major win. He has the open win, and he did chase Tiger down pretty well at the Masters back in 2019. So I do think Francesco is an elite player. So I think top 20 is kind of like an easy bet for him this week. So I do like that. Tied for 8th last year at the Amex, the week before tying for 8th at the Genesis. He tied for 6th this year, or she's not the week before, but before going into that, tied for 6th at the Amex this year. Who knows what he's going to do this year, but I like his game on the West Coast. And another guy whose game actually I really like on the West Coast is Adam Scott. I'm going to take him for a top 10. He talked earlier today that he can't say what he talked about with all the Saudi golf stuff. So that'll be interesting to see what happens. But he switched up his season this year. He started in the Middle East, two events on the DP World Tour. He finished in the top 10 in both of those. He won at this event back in 2020. He had 12 strokes on the field and 10.4 tee to green. Remember, I mentioned that metric. So, he plays this course really well. The putter can be really streaky for Adam, but I think if the greens are really tough, that kind of levels out the putting playing field for him a little bit. I think he can kind of get hot. We've seen him win at Augusta, and those greens are no Dutch picnic. So I like Adam Scott going into this week a lot. He played the WMPO last week, first time in his career. I don't really think it was his cup of tea, but he did tie for 38. So I think his ball striking and his distance are going to suit him well this week at this event as a past champion. Jason, where are you going?
Yeah, Adam Scott is very much more a Genesis Invitational type of guy than a WM Phoenix Open type of guy. I will put good money on that. Doesn't mean he didn't have fun for himself last week. But first play, I'm going Matt Fitzpatrick for a top 10. I like everything about Matt Fitzpatrick. He's played twice already this season, this year, finished in 6th place and 10th place. So he's running hot right now. He was in a share of 5th at this event last year, but I need to qualify this by saying I liked past tense everything about Matt Fitzpatrick, who put in these picks earlier this week so we can get him on the show. And since then, Matt Fitzpatrick has not been to the golf course on Tuesday or Wednesday. He's got a little flu bug, not feeling great. Hopefully, his buddy Dan Rappaport, who writes for Golf Digest, said he's optimistic he will be able to tee it up on Thursday. I don't like the fact that he's, I think either the first or second tee time of the morning on Thursday morning. So at least we get to know quickly before everything starts for DFS purposes, before lineup lock, if he's WDing or not. But that's something to keep an eye out for. But if he does play, if he is healthy, I do like Matt Fitzpatrick. I'm going $30 on him for a top 10. And then, did you say Francesco Molinari?
See.
Me too. Yeah, it's just there's too much to like about him this week. He finished in a share of 8th here last year, and he's, of course, and as everybody seems to know right now, it's been a big walk down narrative street. He's a member at Riviera after moving out to California recently, and so I don't know that I put too much credence into that, other than our buddy Ben Everill, who works for the PGA Tour and joins me on the Links and Locks podcast every week, said he was out at Riv doing a little scouting mission a few weeks ago, spoke with a caddy who often caddies for Francesco out there, and said he would put his mortgage on Francesco for a top 10 this week. So I am putting that caddy's mortgage also on a top 10. Thanks, caddy. Appreciate you doing that for me. But yeah, we're going to go top 10s on Francesco this week. I think that's a very, very solid play. All right, let's get to our ultimate DFS lineup. We do it every week on that Links and Locks pod that I just mentioned. Of course, check out our models, tools, optimizers, everything out there on Fantasy Labs. We're going to pick 6 players on DraftKings, going back and forth as we always do. And Amanda, you are up first.
No, go figure. So like I mentioned earlier, I really like Dustin Johnson. I love that boosted prop that we have this week over on BetMGM. He's basically Mr. Riviera, 7 top 10s and 12 appearances. He has a win here. He leads the field in strokes gained total in the last 6 years. He also leads in tee to green that same period. So you're getting a decent price on him this week. I think it was 1040. So excuse me, 10,400. And it's just, you're not getting that value on Patrick Cantlay, on Jon Rahm, and that's where the majority of the money on those really expensive guys are going to be. And I think Dustin Johnson's going to be overlooked because he hasn't really done anything yet. So I like Dustin Johnson a lot to start this off. Just get a really strong player here off the bat at Riviera, and someone I'm kind of taking a risk there, but I really don't think he's going to be as high owned as some of the other expensive guys.
Yeah, I like that. Like I said about DJ earlier, don't be surprised if he's somewhere in the top 40 after the first round. And then not really thinking about him, something in the top 30 after the second, moves up a little more. He's top 20 going into the final round. Then all of a sudden you look on Sunday and he finishes in a share of 7th place or something like that, which is just fine as far as our lineup and our gimme prop bet are concerned. All right, my first play, I just think he's undervalued. I think he's underpriced. Joaquin Niemann is better than most people realize. Doesn't have a great record at Riviera yet, has not finished in the top 40 in his 3 previous starts at this course, but I liken it to Torrey Pines, where he played a few weeks ago, didn't have a great track record at that one, and then came in this year and finished in a share of 6th place. I think that he's ready to have a very big year. He's a great ball striker. This course should work well for him at 7,800, below the average pricing out there at DraftKings. I think it's a great play to get Joaquin Niemann into a bunch of lineups this week.
All right, another guy I like, another young guy is Sahith Theegala. I mean, just been playing so incredibly last few events. He's been playing on sponsors exemption. Went out last week, tied for third. He gained 12 strokes on the field. And like I said, Riviera, you got to be strong and you got to be a good ball striker. And Sahith Theegala is both of those. He's a Southern California kid. He knows how to putt these greens. He's just so talented. Like we saw the Phoenix Open, it got firmer every single day. Okay, it was running at a 12 and a half plus on the stint meter, and he putted incredibly there as well as struck the ball. So I like him a lot this week. I think he's another guy that's going to be overlooked because there's a lot of star power. You're getting an incredible price on him. If this was, in 2 weeks or something, it might not, but I like him for our DFS lineup. I think he's pretty much a lock to make the cut. Again, I think he's going to be pretty low owned this week. And I just think this course is going to set up really nicely for him, given everything that I just said.
This is a place where I targeted Theegala a while ago. I liked him on the West Coast, wrote him up before the American Express, put him in my preview again for the Farmers Insurance Open. I left him off for Phoenix because I said I'll go back to him in California, where I remember speaking with him back in 2017 when he made his PGA Tour debut, was still an amateur playing at Pepperdine. I was so impressed by him both on and off the golf course. Really good game, obviously. We've seen that, but also just sort of a young gentleman, really just a nice guy who you want to root for. I think we all saw the emotion pouring out of him after the final round. And so I think he's already carved himself a big fan base out there. So a lot of people rooting for Theegala this week. I'm going to go with Thomas Peters. Had him on the radio show on PGA Tour Radio, hitting the green earlier today. And I asked him about the fact that, we always have known he's got potential, but over his last 5 global starts, 2 wins, nothing outside of the top 25. What's changed for him? He said, I've always been able to hit it well, but my putting is so much better lately. So that's been very important for him. This is a guy that won 10 years ago, the NCAA individual tournament at Riviera back in 17. He finished runner-up with a final round 63, played again in 18, but hasn't been back since then. I asked him, well, why haven't you come back? And he goes, I wanted to. They didn't give me an exemption. I wasn't playing well enough, so they didn't invite me back. But I'm happy to be back. I'd love to come here every year. So he is finally back, and we're happy to have him. And I'm happy to have him in the lineup at 7,400 this week.
No, that's a great call there, Jason. I like that one a lot. Another guy who had a nice college career, Wyndham Clark. He played this event 2 times. Both years he shot 67 in the opening round. He has a top 20 and a top 10 here, just under 7 strokes gained total average for both of those weeks. It seems like a place where he plays nicely. Another guy who plays well on the West Coast. He's from Colorado. He played at Oregon. So this is a good setup for him. If he can just get that putter going, I think he does have a lot of potential this week because he's a good ball striker and he's played so well here in the past. He kind of just seems naturally comfortable here for whatever reason.
Amanda, I think you screwed something up.
Did I?
Yeah.
Did I not pick?
No, you left me a whole lot of money on the table. You never do.
Oh, stop. Oh my God, you scared me. Like I thought I said the wrong name or something and it just prepped the entirely wrong stuff.
I've got well into the 5 figures to spend on a player this week. And there's plenty of guys to choose from. I mentioned earlier that Justin Thomas at some point is just going to take off. At some point, he's going to win a tournament by 10. He's going to make 40 birdies in the week, and he's going to have just an absolutely fantastic week. I don't know that this is the one, but I do know that his ball striking was really good tee to green last week, and his putting was just terrible. If he can fix the putter, that would help. But even more importantly, putting is neutralized a bit on these Poana greens at Riviera, where quite frankly, the good putters don't make as many of them. And so it sort of narrows the differential between the really good putters and the guys who aren't rolling it that well. So hopefully JT putts a little bit better. And like I said, you kind of squeeze them all a little bit tighter this week. But we've got DJ, Neiman, Theegala, Peters, Clark, JT, ship it. All right. As always, we've got a first round leader contest. You guys should go to @GolfBet on Twitter. Give us your favorite first round leader play, and you've got a chance to win some really cool prizes from GolfBet. We're going to try to help you out a little bit too with our favorite first round leader plays. We'll put them in our perfect portfolio as well. Amanda, where are you going with yours?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the guy. I would love to have had him in my perfect portfolio. There just weren't enough prop bets, but like you said, Matt Fitzpatrick isn't really feeling that great. I think, if he can just get off to a decent start, shoot par tomorrow or something, go on to get better as the week goes on. I think he's actually a good pick for those prop bets. However, as a first round leader, I don't know if he's as good of a bet as he would have been on Monday. He shot 66 last year, tied for second with Homa, the eventual winner, tied for eighth at this event. So plays this course really well. He's a really good ball striker. I just really wanted to mention his name before, the recent developments of his stomach, but I do like Matt Fitzpatrick. He may be a wash for first round leader, but I definitely think a top 10 play is still worth it on him.
Yeah. One more thing on Fitz too. He plays his best golf, or tends to play his best golf on tougher golf courses.
On elite golf courses. Exactly.
Yeah, so when you don't have to go out there and shoot 61 to be in the first round lead, when a 66 or so could take it, that's the type of golf that Fitzpatrick does like. So I do like that, as long as he wakes up healthy tomorrow morning. So I'm going to go with a guy who, coming into the West Coast swing, everyone liked Maverick McNeely. It's seemingly 2 weeks ago at Pebble Beach, the entire world was on him. He finished in 33rd place, wound up withdrawing from Phoenix. Didn't see anything about an injury or illness or anything like that. I just think he needed an extra week off. And now I haven't heard that much about McNeely, but still, he's still a very good player. He's still trending in the right direction at 66-1 for the first round leader play. I like him. He's finished sub 70 in 5 of 7 first rounds that he's played so far this season, including 69, 67, 65 in his last 3. He's got an early tee time. That Poa grass that I talked about on the greens should be laying down, shouldn't be sticking up as much as it will in the afternoon. So hopefully a couple more balls, a couple of putts go in the hole. I'm putting $10 in my perfect portfolio on McNeely. All right, let's recap those portfolios. Amanda, Cantlay outright, Molinari top 20, Adam Scott top 10, and Matt Fitzpatrick first round lead. Myself, some of those same names. Cantlay outright, Fitzpatrick top 10, Molinari top 10, McNeely first round leader. Amanda, we have way too many of the same picks this week. I apologize to the entire Cantlay family and anyone else on them. I feel like it's one of those weeks we go, oh my God, we killed Patrick.
You brought the jokes tonight, Jason. I'm impressed.
I tried.
Yeah.
Let's leave it there. Go out on a high note. Thanks to everybody out there for watching this episode of the Gimme presented by BetMGM. Remember, catch our content on Golf Bet this week and every other week of the PGA Tour season. For Amanda Rose, I'm Jason Sobel. Good luck with all your bets for this week's Genesis Invitational. Here's hoping you guys hit the green.